How's it going, everyone? This is Daniel. In this video, we are going to be talking about Tesla stock and the overall stock market. We're going to go over a look at exactly what to expect for tomorrow. We are going to be getting some really important economic data coming out tomorrow. We also have Fed Chair Jerome Powell is going to be speaking, and we're also going to go over a look at exactly what to expect for Tesla delivery numbers that is going to be coming out pretty soon in July. We're going to be covering all this important information in this video coming up. As you can see over here, we have Tesla stock that's sitting at $697.99. Unfortunately, we're down 5% on the day. As you can see, the price action, we've been slowly, aggressively selling off to the downside. So not even try to bounce at least once. It was just like a very slow bleed down to the downside. When you look at Tesla stock compared to the stock market, as you can see, we have all the big tech companies like Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Apple, almost all of them, almost all the sectors are down aggressively except for energy stocks. Energy stocks holding strong. ExxonMobil up 2.77% on the day, and other energy stocks are also holding pretty strong. Unfortunately, when you look at the price action that we've seen for the overall stock market, we gave back almost all of the gains that we made on Friday. So we filled the gap that we had over here, and then today we had a massive reversal. And of course, we are going to be getting some key important economic data that's going to be coming out on Thursday, where we're going to be getting inflation data for the month of May coming out. So in the past, we saw investors selling out of some of their positions, and we saw some aggressive sell-off happening ahead of these key inflation data announcements because investors might be fearful. They don't want to know. They don't want to speculate anything like that. And some of the price action that we saw today might be an indication of some investors actually taking off risk and protecting their portfolios in a way. So, of course, tomorrow, as I mentioned, we're going to be getting Fed Chair Jerome Powell is going to be speaking at a conference. And also, we're going to be getting the GDP numbers revised data for Q1. I know on Sunday we talked about this is going to be a GDP number for the next quarter, but unfortunately, this is just going to be the revised version for Q1. We already know that the GDP numbers were negative 1.5%, and we'll see what they're going to be saying about this revised version. So tomorrow, we might potentially see an extreme volatility day depending upon what investors are going to be planning to do, if they're going to be holding on to their positions or taking off risk, since we're going to be getting this key inflation data for the month of May coming out. Also for Tesla stock, we saw a similar type of price action. The overall market sold off aggressively to the downside. Tesla stock also sold off to the downside. Unfortunately, we went below $700. That was the key support price point level that we're watching. We're holding it tight at that area, which is still pretty good. So tomorrow, if we don't get any kind of individual catalyst to help Tesla stock, Tesla's definitely going to be behaving just like what the stock market is going to be doing. So key price point level to watch if Tesla drops is going to be, there's a massive gap that we can, not a massive, but relatively there's a gap over here between 661 to around 671 area that could potentially fill if we sell off aggressively like this massive days that we had. But if nothing surprises, if investors are still going to be holding strong to their positions, we might potentially see just Tesla stock consolidating in this area. So of course, Thursday is going to be the day that we're definitely watching and expecting extreme volatility. But in the meantime, individual catalysts that can affect Tesla is going to be the Q2 delivery numbers that's going to be coming out in July. So this is going to be really important because investors, and analysts are having a hard time predicting what these delivery numbers are going to be like. So we had a lot of issues for this quarter. Unfortunately, we had COVID lockdowns, supply chain issues, and we are getting some analysts are coming out and actually lowering their delivery number expectations. Let's say, for example, this article is stating that the Dutch bank analyst Emmanuel cut his second quarter delivery estimates to 245,000 units from 310,000 units. So when these delivery expectations get cut, other analysts can come out and say, okay, we are going to be lowering our price targets. We are expecting Tesla to not really keep up with the deliveries and some of the targets that they set for this quarter, and that could affect Tesla stock a little bit. But overall, this is not a big surprise. The COVID lockdowns has been having issues with Tesla. We know that. We've been having supply chain issues, so it's not really a big surprise. But in the meantime, if we see a pretty massive delivery miss or exceed their expectation, we might see Tesla stock aggressively going up or down with this massive catalyst. So definitely be on the lookout for that. That's going to be happening in July Q2 delivery numbers. So definitely be on the lookout for that. But let's go over in detail and talk about exactly what to expect for Tesla and also for the overall stock market. But first, let's talk about the overall stock market, because that's going to be where a lot of the momentum, a lot of the action has been going. So overall, tomorrow, if we don't get any kind of a surprise with the revised GDP numbers that we're going to be getting for Q1, I'm not expecting a pretty big move to happen early in the morning. But overall, if investors want to sell out of their positions and protect and take off risk off of the market ahead of the inflation data coming up on Thursday, we might potentially see a breakdown happening. And if that happens, we're looking at a price point level around 374 to 370 area if we aggressively sell off to the downside. So if we're seeing like days like this where the market is just going down like 1, 2, 3, 4% on a day, we might potentially see some form of an aggressive sell-off, and we're looking at a price point level like that. But if investors are not really fearful about inflation numbers or anything like that, we might just consolidate and stay between 375 to 380 area right around over here. And if really nothing happens, if investors just holding strong, we might potentially just consolidate over here too. But in the meantime, I'm thinking we can definitely see lower prices tomorrow. So for Tesla tomorrow, I'm not expecting an aggressive move like this, like a 5% drop to happen. But if we get even lower, if we aggressively sell off, I'm expecting Tesla stock to potentially be sitting at around 380 to around 395 area, around this area, because we've been holding this area for a while now. The $700, when the price goes up, it just consolidates above $700. When it goes below it, it goes back to $700 area. So I'm expecting Tesla stock, even if it breaks below, to stay closer to the $700 area. So if we aggressively sell off, as I mentioned, there's a gap that can fill right around over here between 650 area to around 670 area. So there's a slight gap that can potentially be filling if we aggressively sell off to the downside. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think is going to be happening for the inflation data that we're going to be getting? What do you think about Tesla's delivery numbers for July? I'd love to hear your opinion. Of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. But I'll catch you guys on another video. Have a wonderful day.